Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Grab yourself a cup of tea and let's talk some boxing. Now let's talk about Manny Pacquiao and Ugas. The fight has ended in a unanimous decision victory for Ugas. He retains his WBA world title. Now in this contest you could see that Ugas had a game plan that he wanted to execute, and he very rarely went away from that. He wanted to make sure that he kept that jab flowing, and he wanted to keep Pacquiao at a certain distance. Now, Pacquiao is renowned for being able to move fast. He has good movement coming forwards, and he seems to be quite accurate when he does so. Now, Ugas was able to thwart that because he didn't have the same level of accuracy in this contest. Ugas was covering up well, and he was having a little step here and there, which took him out of range and did stop the attack of Manny Pacquiao, which often did come in straight lines, which meant that Ugas was able to back up and come around to the side. Then Pacquiao had to reset his attack once again. Then Ugas was using that jab, and that kept Pacquiao on the outside as well. So it was a very well put together game plan and executed well by Ugas, a good performance, but I think that it is clear to see Manny Pacquiao is not the same fighter he once was, and that is to be expected at 42 years old. Not just the age, but also the fact that he's been in some really tough fights and training camps as well. Ugas is a big guy, he looked really strong in there as well, so that was a major factor. Ugas, the bigger, stronger man, he was able to cover up well, he was able to keep him on the outside, had a stiff jab in Manny Pacquiao's face the entire night. And it's not easy for the smaller guy to be able to close that distance, especially when maybe Manny Pacquiao wasn't firing on all cylinders. So it wasn't just the fact that Manny Pacquiao isn't Manny Pacquiao of 10 years ago. I mean, we've known that for a while. We knew that in the Keith Thurman fight, and he won that one. It's not the same Manny Pacquiao. He is an incredibly gifted boxer and fighter, and he's gone on for an extremely long time, around 25 years, which doesn't often happen in boxing, but Manny Pacquiao has been able to do it. So we cannot just say Manny Pacquiao has had his day, his time has come and gone, and it all caught up to him in the Ugas fight. Some part of that is true, but I think we also have to give Ugas some credit for what he was able to do, because Manny Pacquiao had very little success, and that was down to the way Ugas was fighting in this contest. It wasn't just that Manny Pacquiao doesn't have it anymore, it was the fact that Ugas made him look that way. I mean, I think that Manny Pacquiao now has to consider his career. What does he want to do next? Does he want to have one more and try and go out on a victory? Or does he maybe want to even get a rematch with Ugas? I mean, I did hear something about Manny Pacquiao reviewing the tapes, then making a decision, so perhaps that will come soon. Ultimately, it's up to Manny Pacquiao. The ball is in his court. He'll get another big fight. People want to fight him. They want the opportunity to have Manny Pacquiao on their record. It is just down to whether he feels the hunger to continue. Does he want to get back in there? Especially considering what happened against Ugas. There could be a rematch. I mean, he was even supposed to be fighting Errol Spence, which obviously never happened, and Ugas was brought in. So great opportunity for Ugas. He got the fight at late notice because obviously Errol Spence had to pull out, and took the opportunity with both hands. He has been waiting for that kind of opportunity. I mean, he's 35 years old himself, been in boxing for quite a while, but he hasn't really had that major breakout fight. Maybe this could be that for him. I mean, maybe it should be. It's Manny Pacquiao after all. Albeit a 42-year-old Manny Pacquiao, it doesn't really matter because look what we have seen Manny Pacquiao do and the level he has been competing at despite being in his 40s. That doesn't really come into it too much. I mean, the question could be, how different is the Manny Pacquiao now compared to the one we saw in the Keith Thurman fight or in the Adrian Bruner fight? I mean, yes, he's a little bit older, but he was in his 40s then. So is there even a major difference? Is it down to the fact that Manny Pacquiao cannot do it anymore, especially at this level? Or was it just down to the fact that Ugas was able to control him and had the perfect game plan and executed it, and that was the reason why? In my opinion, it is a combination of all of them. I think that there were maybe glimpses there in the Thurman fight, in the Adrian Bruner fight. I think that if you look at the styles of the opponents and the game plan they had going in, Bruner's was different, Thurman's was different, Ugas's was different. Bruner and Thurman, their style, their game plan allowed Manny Pacquiao to get closer and work up close, work down to the body, and he was far more accurate in those fights. It was a fight that was contested at closer quarters, which does suit Manny Pacquiao. Then you get Ugas, someone who is taller, someone who is stronger, and has that jab as well that he was using, and he was coming around to the side, backing Manny Pacquiao up with that jab as well, trying to prove who was the stronger man in there. So you can see that perhaps it was a combination of different things. I do think that Manny Pacquiao was pushing his punches a little bit. He didn't seem to have that kind of spark that he normally has, because Manny Pacquiao seems to explode, and he is very energetic in there. He doesn't really get tired all that much. I think that he did start to look tired as the fight wore on, and the work down to the body from Ugas also, that did zap the energy of Manny Pacquiao, and at some points you could see it really actually hurt him going down to the body. So Ugas kept doing that. Ugas kept it quite simple for himself in there. I mean, I know you can make it sound like it's complicated. He didn't really overcomplicate things. He used his jab, he used his movement, his footwork, his positioning, and he also worked down to the body. He covered up well. So he kept it basic and broke things down bit by bit. And that was very important and integral to his victory, to make sure he doesn't overcomplicate things and he doesn't allow Manny Pacquiao any space to work and answering everything that Manny Pacquiao throws at him, because that is what Ugas also done. Anytime Manny Pacquiao had any success, Ugas answered it, and that is important because it was a mental victory each and every time he done it. So if Manny Pacquiao has some success maybe down to the body or landing some shots upstairs, Ugas would throw something back, a jab, anything, just to let Manny Pacquiao know that that didn't get to him, it's not going to bother him. If he does that, then Ugas is going to dish out his own, and that was what he was doing the whole night, again, breaking it down, making it basic, making it simple for himself. And at the moment we don't know what the future holds now for Manny Pacquiao. He was talking about maybe a Josh Taylor fight, he was talking about other fights maybe with Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, but after this, that does throw that into question. As I said, he'll get another big fight if he wants it because he's got that name, and who wouldn't want Manny Pacquiao on their resume? So he'll get that fight if he wants it, but he has just lost to Ugas, and the question is, would Ugas beat Terence Crawford? Would he beat Errol Spence? If the answer is no, then you have to wonder, what are Manny Pacquiao's chances in there with the elites like Terence Crawford and Errol Spence? So a decision needs to be made, and I would imagine that that will come in the next few weeks, maybe even the next few months, because it is a big decision to make for Manny Pacquiao. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below. Also leave a like and grab that subscribe button. Thanks, guys.